Good morning. Good morning again, and welcome to our session for today. So, we will be opening up a new topic for today. If you remember correctly, the last time that we have our discussion, we discussed about the exponent. And the last topic that we have discussed is rational exponent. And again, the last part of our discussion last time is how to convert rational exponent to radicals and vice versa. So with that, we will be having our next topic today because that topic is actually the introduction to our topic for today, to the lesson that we will be discussing today. So with that, let's move on with the slides and let's talk about the lesson for today. So we have here now our slides, and in this lesson, you will be seeing this given. We have a fraction, we have the radical sign and y, and again we have here now a power here, x raised to z, and radical y. So if we will be going to encounter this kind of problem, we are definitely under the topic of radicals. So as I have told you last time that we have our discussion, we have the rational exponent converted into radicals and vice versa. In this time, we will be focusing more on about radicals, and not only radicals, but how to simplify radicals. If you notice, this is part 1. Simplifying radicals was divided into two parts para hindi tayo ma-overwhelmed, hindi tayo magkaroon ng information overload. So this will be the first part. Now, just as always, we have to have our aim for today. So at the end of this lesson, this video lecture, you should be able to, number one, of course, we have to define radicals. So we've been talking about radicals, but what actually is radical? Okay? Number two, we have to identify the properties of radicals. What are those properties of radicals that we will be able to use upon encountering problems involving this kind of given? And last but not the least, we have to simplify radicals in the easiest way possible. Now, I'm going to put an emphasis in this term, easiest way possible. Don't get me wrong, we have here now several ways in simplifying radicals. But in this video lesson, I'm going to make sure that we will be able to simplify radicals in the easiest way possible. Because in my opinion, this is the easiest way. The method that I'm going to teach you will be the easiest way to solving or to simplifying radicals. Alright, let's start our topic with the question, what is radical? We've been talking about radical, so therefore we have to understand what do you mean by radical. The radical is the opposite of applying exponents. If you can still recall, exponent indicates how many times the base is used as a factor. Now, if this is the opposite of radical or the opposite of exponent, the given will be the final answer, and we are actually looking for the value in which used as a factor. Yung ginamit natin para makuha yung mismong given. Okay? Kaya nga ang tawag natin dito sa radical, this is also known as the root. Halimbawa, 25 ang square root. So yung pinanggalingan ng 25, kung saan yung mismong number na i-multiply mo sa sarili niya para makuha mo yung 25 will be 5. That is the square root. Yun yung tinatawag po nating root. If we are looking for the cube root of 8, so the given will be 8, and we are looking for a number na pinanggalingan niya na i-multiply ng makaikatlong beses. That's the reason why we have here now the cube root. So, ang cube root ng 8 is 2. Okay? Now, this is the representation of radicals. And if we will be discussing radicals, we have to identify yung parts po natin. So, we have here now x, we have here now the check mark, we have here now y, we have here now a z. So, what are those things? First, this one, yung x natin, this is called the index. So index, ito yung sinasabi natin kung gaano yung root, pang ilang root yung kinukuha natin or hinahanap natin. Okay? Now, this one, yung may checkmark tayo dito, this is called the radical sign. So yung symbol natin dito, radical sign or radical symbol, they are all the same. Ito po yun. Then yung y natin na malaki, this is called the radicand. If you notice, sa rational exponent natin, this is called the base. Pero dito sa atin pong radical, this is called radicand. It doesn't matter kung whole number yan, kung siya po ay fraction, basta yun nandito sa loob, it is called the radicand. At yung radicand natin, we have here now the z. Excuse me. And z is known as the exponent. So these are the parts of a radical na kailangan po alam natin. I'm going to repeat, we have the index, kung anumang number yung nakikita mo dito. And as I have mentioned dun sa nauna nating lecture, kung walang nakasulat dito, automatic 2 sa ating nth root. Okay? Radical sign or radical symbol, the radicand, and the exponent. Now, technically speaking, if we will be talking about the radical sign, only the check mark part of the symbol is the radical. Asa yung check part? Ito. So ito lang talaga yung radical. Kaya nga kung makikita ninyo sa atin pong paggamit po ng laptop or desktop sa mga symbols, pag nakakita kayo check mark, hindi talaga check mark yun. That is the radical. Okay? Ngayon, ano yung tinatawag naman nating kadugsong ng radical? The line across the top is called the vinculum. So, pinagsama lang yung radical vinculum para alam natin kung gaano rami yung nasa loob mismo ng radical symbol natin. So, this is called the vinculum. So, again, the check mark is the radical. This line above is called the vinculum. Together, they are called the radical sign. Doon tayo masanay. Okay? Now, when do we say that the radical is in its simplest form? Kailan natin masasabi na yung radical po pala natin, yan na yung pinaka-simplest form ng radical. First is if the radicand does not contain a perfect root. So kung square root yan, hindi na perfect square. Wala nang kino-contain na perfect square yung radicand. If that is cube root, wala nang factor yung mismong radicand na may cube root. Okay? Or perfect cube. If that is nth root, wala nang factor yung radicand na perfect nth root. That is what we mean by radicand does not contain a perfect root. Number 2, the index of the radical is the lowest possible index. If you notice yung index natin kanina, yung nasa may buntot, lowest possible na yan. We will be tackling it as we continue with our lesson. And number 3, there will be no fraction in the radicand or no radical in the denominator. So wala na raw tayo, yung radicand yung nasa loob wala na raw tayong fraction sa mismong radicand, or kung paghihiwalay naman natin, wala na tayong radical, so wala na yung radical symbol sa denominator. Now, with these three what do you call this one? With these three given, kung paano natin malalaman na nasa simplest form na siya, dito lang muna tayo magfo-focus. I'm going to leave this one sa second part po ng ating discussion. So this one will be our main focus, these two, the first two. Alright, we have here now the properties of radicals. As I have told you, this is one of our aim. Alam natin yung properties ng radicals. Para lang din itong laws of exponent, we can call this one the laws of radicals. If we have here the first property, the nth root of A times the nth root of B is equal to nth root of A times B. If you're going to look further, carefully, meron po tayong n dito at saka dito. They have the same indices. So pag parehas yung index natin, all we have to do now is to multiply yung loob, yung radicand. Subukan natin. the cube root of 3x times the cube root of 7y. Now, yung radicand po natin magkaiba. The first one is 3x, the second one is 7y, but the index, they have the same index and that is 3. So dahil parehas yung index natin, we will come up with the cube root of 3x times 7y. All we have to do now is to multiply. That will give us the cube root of 21xy. This is the answer for this one. Okay? So we have here now the property. We have also the example here for you to understand what that property means. Ano po? We have here now the second one. If you notice, we have here now 2 radical, the nth root of p. So just like what we have done in fraction, all we have to do now is to multiply the indices. So this is equal to the product of n and m, that is the root of p. So let's say for example, the cube root of the square root of 26xy. Basically, we have here now two ways of dealing with this one. We have to work inside out, but this will be much simpler. 3 times this one. Sir, walang number, that will give us 2. So 3 yung ating root dito, yung index natin. And then 2 yung index natin dito, 3 times 2. Then we simply copy yung ating radicand, 26xy. So by multiplying this, we have here now 3 times 2 will come up with 6. And this is the 6th root of 26xy. This will be our answer if the given is just like this. Okay, the third property of radicals. If we have here now the nth root of a fraction, p over q, we can separate the numerator to the denominator containing the same index. So we will be having the nth root of p over the nth root of q. Let's have here now an example. The given is the cube root, this is the index, the cube root of 9ab over 8. So we have here now the whole fraction serve as the radicand. Now, if this is the given, we can separate the numerator and the denominator, and they are both cube root. So this is equal to the cube root of 9ab over the cube root of 8. The same as this one. Okay? Now simplifying this, we have our answer, the cube root of 9ab over 2. Dito pa lang, meron ng pahiwatig dun sa ating third property natin, o sa third indication that we have here now, the radical in its simplest form. Wala tayong radicand sa denominator, this one. And as I have told you, we will be discussing this on part 2. Okay? So watch out for that. For now, let's try to focus on this topic muna. Okay. Now, if we have here now prime factorization, this will be a big help para po sa atin. Prime factorization, it is a review. And what does that mean? Prime factorization is a method of finding all the prime numbers. Pag sinabi nating prime numbers, there are no other factors except sa sarili nila at saka 1. That is what we call prime numbers. So it is a method of finding all the prime numbers that has been multiplied to form the given number. So dito sa example natin sa prime factorization, we will be using the factor 3. We will be getting all the roots, and those roots will be our prime factor. Now, if we will be asked to get the prime factors of 48, now, I want you to remember this given, 48, because this will be used in our succeeding examples. We will do it like this. So, I'm going to write down 48, and then I'm going to branch out yung atin pong 3. This is the reason why we have to call this one factor 3. 48, the factors are as follows, 8 and 6. If you multiply, 48. Now, we have to break down every factors hanggang sa ang factor na lang matira, 1 at saka yung number na yon. So for example, 6 has a factor of 3 and 2. Pero yung 3 at saka 2, wala na siyang ibang factor kundi 3 times 1 at saka 2 times 1. So these 3 and 2, these numbers are called prime factors na ng 6. How about 8? It can be factored using 4 and 2. Yung 2, prime factor na 2 times 1, but 4, meron pa siyang 2 at saka 2. So if you notice, coming from 48, nag-branch out siya, papaliit, hanggang makuha natin yung dulong mga numbers na wala nang ibang factor kundi yung number mismo at yung 1. So these numbers na nasa dulo, these are called prime numbers. Ito yung prime factors po niya. So, the prime factors of 48 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 2. Asan yun? Lahat nung nasa dulo nung root po natin. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 2. Eto. And if you can still recall, dun sa exponent natin, ang sabi natin, it is the shortcut of repeated multiplication. Kung 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 yan, we can rewrite it as 2 raised to 4 times 3. This will be the prime factors ng 48 na may exponent na rin po. And as I have told you, this will be very critical dun sa pagsasagot po natin kung paano natin mapapadali yung pag-simplify ng atin pong radicals. Okay? So, subukan po natin. So, in this topic, we will be simplifying radicals using Jailbird system. Okay? So, sa aking opinion, in my opinion, this is the easiest way for us to get the simplified version of the radical. We will be using Jailbird system. Yung Jailbird system natin, this is normally used sa mga intrams, etc. So let's have an example. Halimbawa, eto kayo sa labas, and then may mag-a-announce sa mic. Okay? So ang sabi dun sa mic, okay, so lahat ng huhulihin ngayon, lahat ng unggoy. Something like that. So meron tayo dito nakita, ito, laya, nakalaya. So lahat sila, unggoy, hinuli, di ba? Kinukuha ng mga member dun sa jail booth, kukunin, ilalagay sa isang lugar na ang tawag jail. So we will be putting them into a jail. Ito. And the jail that we will be using, yung mismong radical. Nakakulong sila. Ngayon, ano ba yung mechanic natin sa ating jailbird system? Para makalabas itong mga ito, kailangan nilang magbayad ng piyansa. Ayan. So normally, 5 pesos. Parang ganon. Para makalabas kayo at makalaya ulit. At hindi ka makakalabas kung itong 3 unggoy na ito, walang pera. Kaya may pera yan. Okay po? So in this case, meron na po tayong radical. The index, radical sign, the bases, ito, or the radicand should I say, and the exponents, ito. So para mas maintindihan, i-move natin, lagyan natin ng mga values yan. Ito. So, dinala yung 3 unggoy, nice, sa kulungan, which is the radical. At ang sinabi sa atin, makakalabas lang kayo kapag magbabayad kayo ng 3 piso. So, ito yung index natin, 3 pesos. Now, itong bingi, yung nakatakip, nagugulat, medyo maraming pera. Meron siyang 9 na piso. 9 pesos. Etong bulag na unggoy, dahil walang masyadong nagbigay ng limos, ang pera lang niya 2 pesos. And itong pipe na unggoy, medyo may pera ng konti, so we have here now 7 pesos. Okay, tanong, paano makakalaya? Isa-isahin po natin. Let's have here now itong bingi. 9 na piso, makakalabas ba siya? Kung magbabayad siya ng 3? Oo naman, makakalabas. Ayun. Ngayon, ang tanong na susunod, ilang beses siyang pwedeng makalabas kung paulit-ulit siyang huhulihin. Nagbayad ka ng 3, matitira ay 6. Isa. Nagbayad ka ulit ng 3, matitira ay 3 dito. 2 beses ka nang nakalabas. Dahil may 3 ka pa, pwede ka pang lumabas ng isa pang beses. So, pwede tayo lumabas 3 beses. Ayun. So, itong unggoy na to makakalabas 3 beses. May matitira pa ba sa loob? Wala na. Kasi wala naman sobra yung pera. So, maglalaho yan. Okay? I hope I'm making sense here and you understand what I'm trying to transfer to you. Now, dun tayo sa bulag. Ang pera lang niya, 2 piso. Para makalabas, kailangan niya magbayad ng 3 pesos. Hindi siya makakalabas. Kulang yung kanyang pampiyansa. Diyan ka lang. Now, how about this one? Yung ating pipe. May 7 pesos siya, 7 pesos. Babayad siya ng 3. Mas malaki yung pera niya, so makakalabas yan. Tanong ulit, ilang beses siya pwede makalabas? Lumabas siya, nagbayad ng 3, matitira ay 4. Isang beses. Sir, mas malaki pa rin yung 4 sa 3. Okay. So, pwede pa rin siya lumabas isang beses. Pangalawa na yon. May matitira sa kanyang isa. Makakalabas pa? Hindi na. So, ilang beses tayo nakalabas? 2. May maiiwanan sa loob ng kulungan. Magkano ang pera ng unggoy na pipe? Sa pangatlong pagkakahuli sa kanya, wala na. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, nawala na yung atin ditong pera. Yung 7 niya dito, mawawala na. Okay? So, ang final na sagot natin, yung unggoy na ito, 3 beses nakalabas. Itong isang unggoy na pipe, 2 beses. Ang naiwanan sa loob ng ating kulungan or jail booth, yung bulag na 2 piso at yung pipe na pipiso ang pera. Sir, wala nakalagay. Oo, piso nakalagay sa exponent natin dyan. Okay? So I'm hoping that you're getting the gist of what we're trying to simplify here, what we're trying to do here. So, gamitan natin ng mas maayos na given. Simplifying radicals using the Jailbird system. Ano yung dapat po nating tandaan? In simplifying radicals, it will be much easier. Okay, again, this will be, on my opinion, kasi may ibang pamamaraan at may iba mas nadadalian doon. But what I'm teaching you, yung sa palagay ko, mas madali. It will be much easier if the given is in the prime factors. Yung ginawa natin kanina sa 48, dapat ganun din po yung gagawin po natin. Ano po? Now, instead of the cube root of 48, ito halimbawa yung given, we can represent it using, that's the reason why sabi ko, tandaan nyo yung ginawa natin sa 48. Ito, the cube root of 2 raised to 4 times 3. If we have here now this given, yung 2 natin, makakalabas isang beses. Isang beses lang yung 2. May matitira sa loob, isa lang din, kasi kulang na yung pera. Ayan. Using the Jailbird system, we have 2 lumabas, cube root of 2 times 3. Bakit naging 2 ito? Nagbayad ka ng 3, sa pangalawang pagkakahuli, piso na lang yung natira. Yung 3 dito, yung number 3, hindi na siya makakalabas kasi pipiso pera. So ito matitira. Okay, make sense guys? Make sense? Okay. And this is equal to 2 times the cube root of 6. We will be multiplying this one. This will be our answer. Okay? Sana po naiintindihan ito. Ganun lang po kasimple. Para po mas maganda, subukan po ninyo. How do we get 4th root of 3 when the given is 4? When the given is the 4th root of 243. Paano natin makukuha ito kung ito given? I'm not going to show you yung solution. Try to follow yung pattern para kayo mismo yung masanay. And I want you to give your best, guys, dito sa parang ito. Okay po? So, pakisulat po muna yung given. I am hoping na nakita nyo to. If you understand at saka yung Jailbird system natin, I'm requesting you to please sign a comment na naintindihan. Smash that like button. Pakikisuyo na lang po. And kung may tanong, sa comment section po natin. Try this one out, guys. Ito yung sagot. Ito na yung pinanggalingan. What we're actually looking is the path or the way that we do para po makuha yung final na sagot. In that way, matututo po tayo. Okay? So kung nakopya na, let's proceed. We have here now another way. We have to reduce the order or the index of the radicand. So yung index po natin, yung maliit dun sa buntot sa checkmark. Okay, subukan po natin. If you can still recall, we have here now the rational exponent converted into a radical. This is a raised to b over c. This is the same as the c's root of a raised to b. Kino-convert. Ano po yung dapat nating maintindihan dito kung paliliitin natin yung index? Since these two given are basically the same, nagpalit lang po tayo ng form, we have to remember that we always, as in always, represent the fraction in the lowest term as our final answer. Any teacher na may encounter niyo, if you are asked to get the final answer and the answer is a fraction, you have to represent that fraction in the lowest term. Okay? So instead of writing a raised to 2 over 4, which is also the fourth root of a squared, again, kung napansin po natin 4 ito, square tayo dito. Ito yung given. Instead na yung gagawin, it will be 1/2. A raised to 1/2. Saan nanggaling yung 1/2? Sa 2 over 4. We simplify yung fractions po natin. Or, sa radical, square root of a. Yung 2 ay nandito, hindi na natin isinusulat. Yung 1 ay exponent ito. If you notice, lumiit na po yung radical natin. We are reducing the order or the index of the radical. So, in one way or the other, kung kaya natin ng nakaradical lang, good. If nahihirapan tayo, my personal advice is you convert it to rational exponent. Pag na-convert mo na po siya sa rational exponent, that is the time na i-simplify mo yung fraction at makukuha mo po yung mas mababang form ng ating index. Remember that a here is a prime factor. We will be having our example with this one. Yung a natin naka-prime factor na siya, yung nagre-represent dito. That's the reason why meron tayong exponent. Okay? So halimbawa ito. Reduce the order of given the 12th root of 27. Yung iba, ayaw na. Sir, wala naman Ano pang ano ko? 1 over 12 na. Balikan natin. Yung a dito, which is the radicand, should be in the prime factor na merong exponent. So in 27, kuhanin natin yung prime factor niya using factor 3. We will be having the 12th root of 3 cubed. Bakit 3 cubed? 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3, 27. So ito po yung kanyang prime number 3 raised to the third power. Ito po. Upon having this one, pwede na natin siyang i-convert sa rational exponent. 3 raised to 3 over 12. Yung 3 over 12 na factor, na fraction, try natin to simplify. Both are divisible by 3. At yan ay magiging 3 raised to 1/4. And by doing that, we convert it back sa atin pong radical, which we have discussed previous lesson. We have here now the fourth root of 3. Kung mapapansin natin, baka kasi yung iba, ocular inspection lang yung ginagawa, 12 raised to 27, parang ang layo. Ang nakuha natin, fourth root of 3. So kailangan po natin talaga siyang isolve. Kunin natin yung prime factors po nung mismong given nating value. Okay? So that will be our final answer. So again, just like what we have done, subukan nyo rin po ito. How did we come up with the cube root of 4 from the given, the 6th root of 16? Paano daw natin nakuha yung cube root ng 4 from the given 6th root of 16? If you have written this down, pwede nyo pong sundan ulit yung atin pong step-by-step process. Sa previous slides, balikan nyo na lang po yung video natin. No, nandun yung gagawin. Again, convert this into prime number, prime factors, lagyan na exponent, then convert it back sa ating rational exponent. Pag na-simplify na yung fraction na exponent po natin, balik nyo na lang po sa radical. That will be the easiest way, the safest way. Okay, we have here another given. This is the 6th root of 200, or the square root of 256. Meron tayong dalawang radical dito. So we have here now 6th root at saka square root. Now, as I have told you, we have here now two ways on solving this one. So we can either work from the inside out, meaning kunin mo muna yung square root ng 256 or simplify mo muna. Pag nakuha mo na, saka ka magkuha ng 6th root nung sagot dito. Kaya lang, that will be a burden kasi paulit-ulit. Ang dami mong gagawin. And in math, pag marami kang ginagawa, tatamarin ka na. Okay? And one more thing sa math, we try to simplify things as much as possible. So, apply natin yung properties. Ano nga yung properties natin? We simply multiply yung indices. Ngayon, pwede magtanong, sir, ano itong indexes at saka indices? Alin yung tama? Parehas pong tama yan. Itong indexes na spelling, sumunod dito dun sa English word na index, plural. Ito namang indices, this is based from the Latin of index na plural din yung ibig sabihin. So either of this, pag nakakita kayo, huwag kayong magtatawa, mali. No, these are all correct. Both correct. Okay. So balikan natin yung property natin. We simply multiply 6 times 2. So that will give us a 12. Ayan, 6 times 2. So wala nga nakasulat. Again, and again, and again. Multiply. 12. So naging isa na lang yung radical natin. The 12th root of 256. And upon reaching this point, we can go back dun sa ginawa natin dito. Let's represent 256. Get the prime factors natin. Ano ba yung prime number na may exponent natin? At ito ay 2 raised to 8. Okay? If you're going to use yung factor 3 natin, and I'm advising you, strongly advising you, to use that factor 3. With that, we have here now 12 root of 2 raised to 8. Convert natin ito sa rational exponent, 2 raised to 8 over 12. Focus tayo sa exponent natin na fraction. Simplify. Both are divisible by 4. That will give us 2 raised to 2/3. So yung 8 divided by 4, 2. 12 divided by 4, 3. Pag nandito na, what are we going to do? Convert this back to radical. Ito yung index sa baba. Ayun, cube. Then 2, ito yung exponent square. And after that, simplify natin loob. Wala nang perfect root. Yung dun sa unahan nating definition kung paano malalamang simplest form na siya ng radical. Wala nang perfect root. Dito, hindi na siya perfect cube. So we simplify this. Ang sagot natin, cube root of 4. Pag wala na tayong ilalabas, as it is na po siya. Wala na siyang factor, as it is na siya. Itanggalin nyo na yung sa number na may exponent. This will be our final answer, the cube root of 4. So dito lang po muna tayo sa topic po natin ngayon. And I'm hoping po na may naiintindihan po tayo. So going back again, yung topic po natin is all about radicals. What we want you to do is to learn. Huwag sana tayong umasa na hula lang. And then, one more thing, yung grades natin, I'm going to put emphasis on this one. The grades indicates how responsible you are in doing tasks, pero hindi siya nagde-define ng intelligence mo. Kasi may iba, natapos nga yung task, nangopya lang, may tagagawang iba, etc. Pero deep within, alam mo kung deserving ka dun sa grades po na makukuha mo. Okay? So, as always guys, ang gusto po namin dito, you learn and keep on learning guys. dahil yun lang yung gusto talaga namin. The advocacy of being a teacher is for you, learners, to learn. Again, if you have some questions, you can write it down dito po sa ating comment section. If you understood what we have discussed, and if you find this one interesting, I will appreciate it if you're going to press that like button, the notification bell, and also yung all po natin. Para at least kada upload po natin, even if the topic is not for grade 9, you will be notified every time na may nag-a-upload po kami na video. So again, once again, as always guys, keep on learning. This is your Sir Ian saying goodbye and have a nice day.